Ethereum's the kind of biggest, most robust network in terms of the number of developers, the number of people investing in it. So that makes that one of your base, investments. Bitcoin, being the OG in the space, is another base investment. But then you want to start probably going a little bit further out on the risk curve. So we're seeing these layer ones, stuff like Terra, Avalanche, and probably Solana. Interesting. Then I think maybe 2022 is going to be the year of interoperability. So we're looking at, Polygon, Quant, and a few other things that might give us those opportunities. And DeFi's been quiet now for a year and a half. So I think we might see the next wave of DeFi, along with NFTs and social tokens. So there's a lot to play for still this year. Lots happening.
What are you expecting from Ethereum price from this, and also the Ethereum price structure building up to ETH 2.0?
So, it's the structure leading up is I don't know, because there's a bunch of things going on, which is the network's been slow because retail investors have had their earnings crimped by inflation, so they've had less marginal money to be able to put in. There's the Fed tightening, central banks tightening. So there's a lot going on in this picture right now, which is why these prices have been wide-ranging and sideways. Usually, these big events are a turning point one way or the other. So if you went into it at a high in ETH, much like we went into the ETF or we went into the Coinbase listing was the absolute high to the day. Because what you did with the Coinbase listing is you gave people another alternative. So before they were forced into opening Bitcoin accounts, then they didn't have to, so they bought the equity, and you lost billions, tens of billions of dollars of demand. So it depends what happens to ETH 2.0 and where it is. Because if the price is at a high, then all of the people who've been staking are likely to take profits when they can unstake. Now, when they unlock that stake, everybody else in the market knows that there'll be a seller, so you'll force them out at a lower price. It's just how markets work. If we go in at a low, then it's going to be like the Bitcoin halving, where suddenly this triple halving event happens and the price just recovers automatically because so much ETH is burnt. So I don't really know. I was expecting ETH to have been stronger into the back end of the year, and so therefore I was expecting this whole thing to be at a high. I just don't know yet.
But you did buy some more ETH.
I did.
In January, in 20.
Oh yeah, I'm still bullet. I mean, I haven't sold a single thing. I've done nothing but buy for 18 months, and I haven't sold a single thing. 20 months now. So if you think about it, what makes a network really robust is not only investors in it, i.e. token holders, but when people are developing on it, and then you're developing other projects on it that also have investors on top, you're creating network effects. So if you think of ETH in those terms, so there's now demand for the network, which is why ETH is so expensive. Gas fees are so expensive because everybody wants to use ETH. Okay, and then you've got the other phenomena where those expensive gas fees are going to burning ETH. So what you're doing is taking ETH out of supply as well. And that's, I think, the key reason why ETH was up 450% last year and Bitcoin was up 60%. It's to do with the robustness of the network and that burning of tokens and the fact that Bitcoin doesn't have Ethereum, it doesn't have NFTs, doesn't have smart contracts, it doesn't have any of this on it. It's got the Lightning layer, but the Lightning layer basically what it does is batches a bunch of transactions on one blockchain slot. So you're actually not using vast amounts of the network. So I think that's why Ethereum did so well versus Bitcoin last year.
One thing now that I do really want to ask you about is, we've covered Ethereum, the likes of Solana, the likes of Avalanche, the likes of Cardano. This year, what's your expectations for these? Because we've talked about Ethereum and what you're expecting. What about these other solutions?
They've been moving fast because of Ethereum's expensive or slow versus some of the use cases. And so those have seen network effects as people have come away from using Ethereum. So it's a replacement trade. It's not new money coming into this. So it's just been basically a rotation. When everybody's looking at the rotation to continue, because everyone's now figured out, oh yeah, these layer ones, that's what we need, they don't work anymore. So it moves to the next thing. And whether that's interoperability, whether it's, beating up DeFi because nobody's interested in DeFi anymore, I don't know. All I do know is that when everybody's looking at something, it doesn't happen.
Is there any predictions for 2022 in the industry that you have that might be something that we've not covered yet that you're expecting to see or hoping to see?
I think that, and I've been alluding this for some time because it's stuff that I'm working on that I can't really talk about, but I think this is the year of social tokens. People don't really yet, I talk about it, people don't really get it. We're seeing Bored Ape start with the Ape token. There's some of these, but these are still small scale. We're going to see some gigantic communities tokenize, and we'll see the power of token economics. So that's the big thing that people aren't aware of because they haven't seen it yet.